This is exciting. All right. The lighting here is great. It's November 8th, about in between 10 and 11 p.m. Timestamp. It's 2024 still. Um, Walking Sammy. This is Sammy. I can get another shot. He's the border terrier. About, I don't know, a year and a half, something like that. We had, when Mom was in the hospital, there's so many long stories here. You're getting all the stories of my life. So my parents had adopted a Chihuahua, and they had her. They adopted her as a senior, and her name was Annie, and she was with them for 4 or 5 years. Well, she passed, and my dad has wanted to get another puppy for a while. And with my mom being in the hospital again, this is last year. Nose itch. Unlike Zaphod, I don't have 3 hands. So Dad was having a real hard time adjusting the fact that he was alone. Now, you and I, we know that there was a lot going on in his head. Been very clear about that. But you're not a sled dog, Sammy. You're not a sled dog. Yeah, I know you pull Mom. You're not going to do that with me. Yeah, I'm not going water skiing on the sidewalk. It's not happening. So we were watching for, because they wanted a small dog, we were watching for Chihuahuas and Rat Terriers and, Chiweenies, anything we could find. There were none coming available that weren't, from a breeder, mortgage payment kind of price tag. So we went to the Humane Society. I found there was a litter of some kind of mutt. They weren't sure what it was. We looked up the puppies online. We're like, okay, they're border terriers. Nope, we're going this way. We're going this way, Samuel. So we picked this one out. There were, when you do the Humane Society and or some of the different shelters and or the rescues, if they've got a litter, they will frequently pick a letter, and every pup in that litter will have a name that starts with that letter. This guy was actually named Wishbone. It's just like a place saver kind of thing. His siblings were Willie, Wookie, Warrior. You get the gist. So this is the one we decided on. Dad and Kelly both liked the pup. I actually was partial to Willie, I think it was. Whatever. But the deal was, because we knew that Kelly was going to be working with the pup probably more than I was, because I'm actually more the dog person. But with the things that I had going on, she was more of a free agent and able to move around the house and whatnot. My responsibilities were more demanding, put it that way. So Sammy, was in my dad's care for 3 months, 4 months, just a baby. And my dad was feeding him the puppy kibble that we had picked up, adult kibble that he picked up, because the dog on the bag was a little dog, so he figured that was okay. And you know what? You can feed a puppy like adult kibble, but you really shouldn't if you can avoid it. And I don't know that I need the BS excuse of I didn't read it. There was what looked like a puppy on the bag, so I got it. Yeah, that's for grown-up small breed. You want one that actually says puppy on it. Oh, I didn't know. This is the kind of crap we've been dealing with. It's like, I love my dad, but it's like, it's a puppy, Dad. You know what a puppy is. But he was feeding it kibble and Oreos and ice cream, and I'm pro table scrap too. I'm okay with that. You know, if you've had, you know, not necessarily bones and things that can splinter and all that, but if you've got, yep, Sam, that's a car. You've seen him before. Yep. It's all manner of carliness. Not a sled dog. So we requested that he not do that anymore because Oreos, hard no. Ice cream, his excuse was when he was a kid, he used to give his dog ice cream all the time. Okay. You are talking about 1940s and 1950s ice cream. I guarantee it. The stuff that's in modern ice creams was not in the ice creams of the 1940s and 50s. I would feel, other than chocolate, I would feel okay probably giving a dog 1940s, 1950s ice cream as well. Because that was before American manufacturers started putting all manner of crap in food. It was mostly milk. You know what I mean? So anyway, Mom got out of the hospital. Pup was probably 5 months old at that point, maybe 6. Okay, you're making me dizzy, Sam. And he's, I don't know, what is he, 40 pounds, 35 pounds? It's not a tiny dog, you know, he's not, Paris Hilton would reject this dog out of hand because she couldn't get him in a hand. My dad really wanted a dog that would snuggle with him, hop on his lap while he's watching TV, that kind of stuff. This guy would do that. But my mom was worried, perhaps rightfully so, that if he jumped on her, he could knock her over because she was kind of weak on her feet. He doesn't jump on people, but that's now because Kelly worked with him. My dad was not working with him. He was pretty much free to run wild, pee, poop, wherever, inside, outside. It's all the same. Remember one time he was peeing on the carpet, my dad just stood there and laughed. I know that's Alzheimer's. Because my dad 10, 20, 30 years ago would have been angry. He wouldn't have thought it was funny. But with Alzheimer's, sometimes they revert to almost childish behavior. So a dog peeing on the carpet's funny to a 6-year-old or whatnot. There were clues. So Mom got home and said, "Get rid of this dog. I don't want him." I'm sorry you had to hear that. So we weren't going to take him to a shelter or the Humane Society. Kelly pretty much snatched him up and was like, "Fine." So has been Kelly's pup ever since, but we do take turns walking him, trying to take care of him and all that. And quite frankly, he's a good pup. We got to work on the walking thing because Mom lets him jerk and pull and do whatever. Dogs that I own don't do that. No, they're very, very good on the leash training, walking aspect. They do not do that. It is unacceptable behavior. Pix is great with him. She just needs to be a little bit more consistent on some things between you and me. But so we got the car to our mechanic today. They're doing the tires and an alignment. which is good because I think I told you guys we had picked up a screw going through a debris field left by Milton, and or the people collecting the debris fields from Milton. Not sure, but it was a big old pile of like metal gleamy parts. Well, we found a screw, or at least one of our tires did. So, that happened. So tomorrow we're gonna walk up and we're gonna pick up the car, and I've been having interesting phone calls with my mom all week, which have been very, here's financial information you need to know. You need to know about this account. You need to know about this. This is already paid for. This is taken care of through the year, so you don't have to worry about that. I mean, we're having those kind of talks. And this is a woman that's usually pretty close-lipped about financial stuff. It's her business and her business alone. So, I don't know. I know what my gut tells me that means, but I don't know what that means. But in some ways, I know what that means. I don't know if you know what I mean. But, so yeah, she sounded out of breath during the conversation. And I asked if she was okay. She told me no. She said that she's been AFib pretty much since yesterday afternoon. So a little bit over a day. And I told her, I'm like, look, you've been AFib before. It'll pass. She said, this feels different. So, I don't know. My gut tells me she thinks it's coming, My gut tells me she thinks the cat's gonna get her. Yeah, that's a car. What are you gonna do when you catch it? It won't fit in your crate overnight. And you can't park it in the living room. That's an SUV. Yeah. He's a good pup, but he's not necessarily big on the foresight. It was an SUV. You can't store that here. So, I don't know. I probably sound like a gibbering idiot myself. I don't know. I asked her at one point what she thought, and she said, I don't know if I have 6 minutes. I don't know if I have 6 days. And she made me promise that I was going to see through getting Dad taken care of one way or t'other. So, thing of it is, if something happens to her, I'm not, it sounds awful, I'm probably not going to need to take care of Dad, because I'm pretty sure I know what Dad's response will be if he finds her on the carpet, It's a horrible conversation you and I are having, but it's just reality. Keeping it real. So, after we get the car, something that we've talked about, Pix and I, is that, because on the when, it's really not an if, it's more a when something happens to my parents. I'm going to probably, and I may have told you this, if I have, I apologize for the rerun, but I'm going to wind up camping out there while we try and get things organized. And Rhodey will be joining me, but he's a lot for my wife to handle. So, and he's probably we're gonna set up the lanai, so he's got some indoor shelter cover, and he's been, not like contained, but he doesn't get to get out that much. We walk him, he gets to play around the house a little bit, but He's an old man. I'd love for him to be able to like run in the grass again for a bit, before his time's done. So we're going to set up the lanai. He's going to have, and it's spacious, you'll see, because you might see soon. Lots of room, it's out of the sun, it's out of the rain, but he'll have the backyard to run and play, which I think he'll appreciate, because he hasn't had that in a long time. But in the meantime, I want a pup. If I could use a second set of eyes that also barks, because I don't know what I'm walking into there. I know that the burglar is real in the sense that somebody has been messing around in my dad's yard. Getting in the house proper? No. The way my dad has it locked down? No, not for a minute. But Brody's 13. I'm not going to have him forever. He's definitely slowing down. You can see it. So I'm not going to take him out back and shoot him like Old Yeller or anything like that. But I want a pup. And that, frankly, being camped out there, trying to figure all that mess out, great time to take that, 10, 20, 30 minutes, 60 minutes a day to really train up a pup. So I've been watching the adoption sites. There's a great one. I don't know. It's got to be more than just like Hillsborough County, because it asks you, how many miles within how many zip codes and all that. Called Adopt a Pet. And you can find just about anything on there. I've even seen like bunnies and lizards. True story. Somebody had a rat the other day. It got claimed quickly, but somebody had a rat up for adoption. Cute little white rat. But so I've been scoping out pups honestly for months now, because I never know when I'm gonna get that phone call. I want to at least, I'm a Capricorn, man. I want to at least have a game plan. So tomorrow I'm going to be meeting 2 pups that I've been eyeballing. And we're gonna, okay. I don't know what that was about. So if one of them vibes with me, I might be getting a pup. If neither one of them do, I've got like 5 other prospects kind of saved as a, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to contact these people and see if I can meet this one, see if this one grooves with me. So if everything goes well, tomorrow you will actually have a little brother. If everything doesn't, back to the drawing board. Cute. There we go. We have ignition. Ooh, I would ask what you've been eating, but I know what you've been eating. Not a sled dog. So, my mom didn't sound good. Both my boys are still, we'll go with anxious, since Tuesday. A majority of Americans have ordered the poo-poo platter. And they're not actually in an Asian restaurant. I wonder what's going to come to their table. Anyway, I'm gonna. You have more poop to give? That's fantastic. I really do know what he's been eating. It's strange. Speaking of poo-poo bladder. Alright. I'm gonna sign off. Got a busy day tomorrow. Gonna walk to the car, get the car, go meet some pups, maybe adopt one. Again, if not, I got prospects. That's right, this guy, I got prospects. Anyway, symptom-wise, I feel okay. I'm a little short of breath here and there, but I don't actually think it's my lungs. I think it's anxiety, because this has been that kind of week. You know, between the car, we missed a lot of work, and the fact that I think my mom is dying. And she's accepting the fact that she's dying, which I don't know that being defiant helps, but I've heard that being complacent doesn't. So, anyway, it will be interesting. And if I do get a pup, of course I'll introduce him to you and all that. Probably him. The two that I'm mainly looking at are boys, but one of them has siblings, which are going to be there, and we'll see if maybe one of them grabs my heart instead. I don't know. I'll know when I get there. Anyway. Oh, dear God, you're trying to pull my shoulder out of socket. Now I know that works with Mom, right? Anyway. Signing off. Make it a great day.